During this video of the exercise, we'll be looking at creating a triangulated model from our previously extracted 2D data. The resultant model will be a 3D model, and we'll have access to elevations. We'll also look at the different dissolve options within the Build Triangles dialog. In our manual, we will begin this portion of the class on page 1-17, and it will carry us through to page 1-20. The files that we'll be working with are located in our Data Geo DTM 2D data folder, and you can see we have the DAT file that we previously created, and we have our CAD file, the DTM underbar extract 2D DWG file. So back into that file, I'm going to go ahead and access the Build Triangles tool from my main DTM tools palette. I'm going to select the DAT file, and I'm going to create a tin file, and I'll call it the same thing, exground 2D.tin. The dissolve option I'll set to none, so all triangles will be created wherever possible. I'll click Process, and the Build Triangles has completed. Next, I will draw the triangles into the file so we can see them. So I'll access the Load DTM feature tool, select the Load File Tin option. exground 2D.tin is the file. I'll activate my display only and graphic group toggles. I'll set my symbology for the triangles to be yellow. I'll turn them on using the icons along the right hand side. I'll activate the tin hole option by turning that on. I'll thicken that up a little bit. If I click load, you can see the triangles drawn and also the tin hole. And you'll notice that out in the area to the left, you can see triangles were created out there. You can also go ahead and create contours. So I'll turn that item on. Click the read option. It'll find the lowest and highest elevations of my surface, the min, maximum, z value. I'll set up my contour intervals to be 1 and 5. I'll go ahead and activate my lines for the major lines. I'll set up color 2. Make them a little thicker. My major labels, I'll go ahead and activate those as well. Set up a text height and text width of 5. I'll make those the same color as my lines. Decimal 1. And finally, my minor lines, I'll go ahead and turn those on. Set a color of 4. Leave the weights and styles as they are set at 0. And I'll turn that item on. So you can see we can totally customize the settings there. Click load and you'll see the contours drawn as well, along with the triangles and the hull. So you can see that when you set the build option to none, you're going to get triangles outside of maybe the desired area. Now in this next step, what I'll do is I'm going to build the triangles again using the same data, so the same DAT file, but this time I'm going to set my tin file name to be sliver. EX ground 2D sliver. I'll set the option to sliver, hit process, it'll create that file. I'm going to repeat that process now and create another tin file. This time I'll call it side, and I'll say 100, and I'll set my dissolve option to side and my value to 100, and we'll see that what will happen is along the external boundary or region of my surface, it will limit the triangle's edges to 100 units, or 100 feet in this case. So click process. So now I have two new tin files, and let's view them and see what they look like and see the differences between them. To view it, I'll go back to the load DTM features. I'm going to turn everything else off, so all items are off. I'm going to turn back on the triangles, and I'm going to turn on, I can draw these in the file permanently if I want, so I'm going to set display only off, and I'm going to select my EX ground 2D sliver file. I'm going to hit load, and you can see it loads the triangles in the file. Next, I'm going to go ahead and grab my side 100.10, and I'll modify the color of the triangles. This time I'll make them blue. Click OK, hit load, and you'll see those draw on top. And there's a difference here of the difference between setting the side to 100 and sliver. And again, if you remember before, the amount of triangles that I had when I had the dissolve option to none, I had a lot more triangles than are shown there. So dissolve option is generally a way to minimize the amount of triangles along the exterior surface. And if you look at one particular area, you can see, you know, any triangles that were 100 greater than 100 units, they got dissolved or deleted when I set the side length to 100. Next, we will take a look at exporting information from a three-dimensional CAD file and creating a surface from that.